Briefly, we're going to talk about two things, very topical. Greta Thunberg or Thornburg. I think the Nordic pronunciation is Thornburg. I used to be a heathen slash what I. There's various things that they call heathens. It's you can be a druid. There's different types of ways to worship, but I'm kind of moved past that. But Greta Thunberg, we'll call her. Well, I'll let you explain it. I don't want to get into it. It's basically she's another bot.
Yes, she is one of the many MK Ultra bots that were on the island owned by one Jefferey Epstein, and she's part of the master plan of the cabal, the consortium. What she's doing is she's taking her message on climate change, using her climate strikes,
Yes.
to try to shift the blame for the world's weather issues, the climate issues, trying to shift the blame to all the unimportant people of the world, not the non-elite, just the people, everyday Joes.
So essentially, it's the elite
Yes.
getting the people blamed for their weather manipulation tactics.
Yes, exactly.
Why am I not surprised, Jareth?
At this point, Nick, I don't know why anything would surprise you. Nothing should surprise you. We've seen it all in our lifetimes.
It's so tiresome. We have to get this information out, but it's predictable as the weather in the Sahara. You know who's behind all of it. It's all one thing. But we got to tell people the different nuances, what to look out for, and this is clearly, yet again, the elite trying to blame you, Mr. Joe Sixpack, sitting at home doing nothing to hurt anyone. You're getting blamed for their weather manipulation tactics. And the rapidity, the greater thing is really the rapidity.
Yes.
There's natural and unnatural reasons this has happened. The natural reasons are the rapidity. It's an acceleration from the cosmos, from the aliens, from the reptoids or the cabal. It's some of it's forced, some of it's natural. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like the Thor movie where magic and science are one thing. It's kind of like that. It's all paranormal, scientific. It's everything at once happening. That's
mysticism, all of that combined into one. It's unseen forces that, from not just our world, man-made unseen forces, but the forces of the universe and extraterrestrials and anything that's lying in the shadows, the creatures, whatever it may be. It's a combined effort that is destroying our world.
Absolutely.
It's the rapidity. It's a quickening of all these
and
different forces.
And they bring this poor girl out here.
Yes.
And they have her tell you that it's you who drives to work, or you that likes beef or whatever, even though I am a vegan. You shouldn't eat beef, but they're blaming, you know what I'm saying? They blame everything that everyone else does, but it's really the elite. They have her out there to guilt you because she's an intelligent girl. Don't fall for it. That's all I'm saying.
And I know there's many people out there who are wondering, where could you get such information? How do you know that this poor girl, this poor unassuming girl, is a bot? And there's always a tell with these things. You know that it's not the same girl that it used to be.
No, she was a brilliant scientist destined for her own success. They snatched her right up, put her in MK Ultra, and off she goes.
It's either she's the same person or she's just a doppelganger, possibly, because there's signs of that also.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
See, we've been hearing about this.
This is why we pay him the big bucks, folks.
Yes, and me and you, we had this conversation, but a long time ago. But when she started making some waves in the community, people started saying something's not right with this girl. We knew about, like, what, it was about 2 years ago we talked about this.
Yeah, she was only 14 at the time.
Yes, and she was doing different things outside of the Parliament building and striking, whatever it may be. But just from a few of the news reports I've read on the girl, and I've read her mother's book that she wrote about raising her children, because her mother was some sort of singer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Greta was, even at age 11, still had select mutism and would all of a sudden stop eating and doing all these things. And something all of a sudden weird happened when she was 11. She went from being somebody who was very quiet and not talking too much. She would only talk to family members. Then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, she's not eating as much. She's going on hunger strikes. All these different things. She starts speaking out more. She went from not speaking at all to speaking all the time. That is when the switch occurred, when she was 11 years old.
And this is the horrific, devastating type of activity that is par for the course with the cabal. This is just what they do. And they've been doing it all my life and many, many decades before either of us were even here. And we had that information on the PAFs back in the mid-2000s. And, you know, we've talked about the PAFs many times. It's paranormal atheistic forums that were shut down because of the information was just too intense. Speaking of